singer?
My favorite singer is Shania Twain.
What do you like about this singer?
I like the way she sings. She has a very powerful voice.
How is she different from other singers?
A lot of singers these days are famous because of their appearance, but she is both beautiful and talented.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question. Unit 1. My favorite. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My favorite teacher is Mr. Leonard. He is my science teacher. I think he explains things well and he makes every science lesson fun. Speaker number 2.
My favorite video game is Pirate Treasure. It is a game that you play online. You get to make your character and go on adventures. It's a lot of fun.
Speaker number 3.
My favorite sport to play is tennis. Tennis is better than other sport because you can play it at any time of year. You also only need one other person to play this sport. It's easy to find a friend to play with. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. People, things. What is your favorite subject at school?
My favorite subject at school is English.
Why do you like this subject?
I like studying it because it's interesting, and I know that it is very important for my future career.
Why is it important for your future?
I will need to speak and understand English well because I want to work in tourism.
Descriptions. What is your favorite kind of car?
My favorite kind of car is a Bugatti.
What is special about this kind of car?
It is one of the fastest sports cars in the world.
Why would you like to have one of these cars?
It looks cool, so I think I would get a lot of attention from people if I drove one.
Actions. Who is your favorite band or singer?
My favorite singer is Shania Twain.
What do you like about this singer?
I like the way she sings. She has a very powerful voice.
How is she different from other singers?
A lot of singers these days are famous because of their appearance, but she is both beautiful and talented.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. My favorite TV show is the sitcom, situation comedy, Townhouse, because it is very funny. I think the characters are very original and the dialogue is very creative. It always makes me laugh. Response number 2.
My favorite hobby is collecting coins. I like to collect coins and bills from different countries around the world. I always feel good when I get a new type of currency from another country.
Response number 3.
My favorite pets are dogs because dogs are very faithful and protective of their owners. Dogs are affectionate, and they actually like getting their owner's attention. Other pets are not as much fun as dogs. Unit 2. My country. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. A famous food from my country is the candy called Chewy Bears. You may have tasted this candy. They are small jelly bears that taste like fruit. Kids all around the world love them. Speaker number 2.
A really big company in my country is Star Technology. That company makes all kinds of things, from cars to televisions. In fact, I saw some products from this company when I visited my uncle in Australia.
Speaker number 3.
In my country, there are no real traditional clothes for men and women. Women and men generally wear casual clothes, such as pants and shirts. For work or more formal situations, women and men both wear suits. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Actions. How big is your native country?
The territory of my native country isn't very large. It is probably the same size as Germany.
How many people live there?
There are less than 5 million people in my country.
Is the population growing very fast?
Not really, but I think a lot of foreigners have started immigrating to my country in recent years.
Things. People. What are the official languages of your native country?
There are 2 official languages in my country. They are Irish and English.
Which of those languages is spoken by more people?
English is spoken throughout the country, but in some parts, people speak Irish.
Do any people speak other languages as well?
You might hear people speaking Polish and Chinese. There are lots of people from Poland and China in my country.
Descriptions. What is the capital city of your country?
The capital city of my country is Rome.
What is it like?
Rome is a very old but very beautiful city. It is located in the western part of the country.
Is it known for anything?
Rome is well known for its architecture and the fact that it has held on to many old traditions.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. The best and the most popular restaurants are those that serve our more traditional food types. Seafood is very popular, as are different types of curry dishes. There is a big restaurant chain called Sea Harvest, which is very popular in my country. Response number 2.
The main universities in my country are Central University, National University, and City University. They are located in the capital city, quite close to the center of the city. Of the 3 universities, National University is the largest.
Response number 3.
Yes, there are theme parks in my country. The most popular is Disney World, similar to Disney World in the U.S. It is very popular in my country. SeaWorld is also very popular, especially during the summer. Unit 3. Studying English. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. A good thing to do in class is participate actively. If you do this, you will most likely learn more from the lesson. So even if you don't like some activity or you think an exercise is boring, you should still try your best. Speaker number 2.
It is important to do your homework because it is additional practice and reinforcement of what you are studying in class. If you don't do your homework, then you are more likely to forget what you learned in class that day. Your homework can also help prepare you for the next lesson.
Speaker number 3.
I learned to read English by using a computer game when I was 5 years old. My parents bought a CD-ROM for me and showed me how to use it. It was difficult at first, but with practice, it got much easier. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Actions. Do you think it is important to study English grammar?
Yes, studying English grammar is very important for mastering English.
What should you focus on?
You should especially focus on studying tenses.
Why is it important to focus on this?
This way, you can learn to form more sentences in different tenses.
People. What do you think the best ways to practice speaking English are?
There are a lot of ways to practice speaking English. First, you should find every chance to speak English.
Who can you practice speaking with?
You can practice speaking with your friends, teachers, or native speakers.
What else should you do?
You should also watch English TV and listen to English songs. That can help you learn how to pronounce words correctly.
Descriptions. What is your definition of a good student?
My definition of a good student is a student who tries hard.
Does that mean a good student always gets straight A's?
In my opinion, a good student is not necessarily a straight A student.
How can you tell if a student fits your definition?
As long as others, like parents and teachers, can see that the student is trying hard to improve, then that student fits my definition of a good student.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. There are a lot of ways you can learn to read at a fast pace. The one that I know is to read a lot. You should read every day, and as you read, pay attention to the details in the book. Response number 2.
Watching TV and listening to songs in English can help me improve my comprehension skills and help me learn new vocabulary. For example, when I watch TV in English, I often hear interesting words that I don't learn in books, as well as common expressions.
Response number 3.
The best way to learn new vocabulary is to read a lot, because as you read, you can recognize the new vocabulary words and observe how they are used in context. Another good way is to learn 5 words every day and try to use them when you talk to people. Unit 4. Movies. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My favorite actor is Dustin Hoffman. I like him because he is able to play many different types of people. A lot of famous actors are simply themselves in movies, but Dustin Hoffman can seem like a different person each time. Speaker number 2.
No, I don't like watching horror movies. I usually have nightmares after I watch them. I think some people enjoy being scared because they get a thrill from the excitement, but not me.
Speaker number 3.
An action movie is usually a fast, exciting movie where lots of things are happening. Usually, there is a hero who fights bad people. Famous action movies from my country include The Myth and Fearless. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Times. Do you like going to the movies? Explain.
Yes, I really enjoy going to see new movies.
Who do you usually go to movies with?
I usually go with my friends every other weekend.
Do you spend a lot of money going to the movies?
Not really. We have membership cards, so we always get tickets for the movies at a cheaper price.
Things. What are the advantages of watching a movie in a movie theater?
The advantages are the wide screen and the sound system that is used.
Can you think of any additional advantages?
Also, you usually see movies in a movie theater months before they come out on TV.
Can you think of any disadvantages of watching a movie in a movie theater?
One disadvantage is that it is expensive. Also, sometimes people make noise and ruin the movie.
Descriptions. Are drive-in movie theaters popular in your country?
No, I don't actually think there are any drive-in movie theaters in my country.
Why do you think this is the case?
This is probably because the weather is not very nice. It's rainy and cold outdoors quite often.
Have you ever watched a movie at a drive-in movie theater?
No, I've never been to a drive-in movie theater. I don't think it would be fun to see a movie there anyway.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I don't usually pay attention to movie ratings when I am choosing a movie to watch. Sometimes I ask my friends what they thought of a particular movie, but if I am curious about one, I will just watch it. I'm old enough to watch anything. Response number 2.
In my country, our movie industry has not developed very much. We have some small studios located close to our capital city. Most of our movies are made with actors from our popular soaps.
Response number 3.
No, I don't think young children should be allowed to watch horror movies. They can be really scared after watching these movies, and some younger children might not understand that things in the movies are not real. Unit 5. Restaurants. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. The last restaurant I went to was Burger World. I went there for lunch with my friends. I like that restaurant because it is not expensive and the food is good. Speaker number 2.
When I eat out, I usually order iced tea to drink. I don't like drinking colas. They are too sweet, and I don't like the bubbles. Also, I think iced tea is better with a meal than water.
Speaker number 3.
Seafood is good for your health because it has good oil in it. I think it also has fewer chemicals in it than chicken or beef. Those kinds of meats can have lots of unnatural things in them. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Things. Do you prefer to eat out or to eat at home?
Maybe I am too traditional, but I prefer to eat at home.
What do you prefer about eating there?
I enjoy the company of my family and the quality time we have together.
Can you think of a particularly good point about your preference?
I like it when we prepare our homemade food and eat it together. I'm sure the meals are healthier that way.
Actions. When you eat out, do you like to order appetizers?
Yes, I like to order different kinds of appetizers when I eat out. I like to sample various things before I have my main course.
What appetizers do you order when you eat out?
It depends on the kind of restaurant I go to, but I usually have spring rolls.
Where is a good restaurant for this appetizer?
A good restaurant for spring rolls is the Vietnamese noodle house near my apartment.
Descriptions. Is it a good idea to eat out when you travel to other countries?
Of course! I think people should use the opportunity to sample food from different countries when they travel abroad.
Why?
Because it is one way to learn about various cultures in other countries.
Are there any other reasons?
Another good reason for eating out when you travel is so that you don't have to cook. Who wants to cook when they are on vacation? Not me.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I like to order dessert. I really like chocolate and fruit. Depending on my mood and if I am still hungry or not, I sometimes order a piece of fruit torte with chocolate. Response number 2.
My favorite restaurant is the Golden Dragon. which is located on the corner of Main and 5th Street. It serves Chinese food that is out of this world. The food is also very cheap, so we can go there every 2 or 3 weeks.
Response number 3.
When I go out, I like to try different restaurants, especially when I travel abroad, because it gives me a chance to sample foods from different countries. If I find a really special restaurant, I will go more than once, or take friends there. Unit 6. Music. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My favorite radio station is a sports station, not a music station. Sometimes this station plays music when there is not a game on, but most of the time they are talking about sports or broadcasting a game. I guess I'm not a big music fan. Speaker number 2.
Yes, I like to sing with friends. One of the ways that young people spend time in my country is to go out and sing together. We do that a lot more than going places to dance. Some of my friends sing and dance, but I just like singing.
Speaker number 3.
The last time I bought a CD was probably 2 years ago. I quit buying CDs, and now I usually just download songs that I like. I think it's better to just buy the songs you like instead of buying a whole CD that might have some songs you don't like. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Kinds of music. What is your favorite kind of music?
My favorite kind of music is Latin pop, because it is the music that I grew up with.
Where can you hear this music?
Latin pop is mostly used as dance music, so it is played in dance clubs.
What do you like about this music?
It is energetic, so it makes me want to dance. I really like dancing.
Descriptions. Do you play any musical instruments?
Yes, I do. I play the piano. I like playing classical music on the piano.
How long have you played this instrument?
My parents took me to a music school when I was very young. I guess I was about 7 when I started learning to play the piano.
Are there any other instruments you would like to learn to play?
I would love to learn to play the saxophone because I think it has a wonderful sound.
Things. Describe a situation when music can be distracting.
Music can be distracting when it is too loud. Loud rap music or heavy metal can be very annoying.
Is it distracting even if it is your favorite kind of music?
Yes, when somebody is playing jazz, my favorite kind of music, too loud, I still wouldn't enjoy it. It would bother me.
When else can music be distracting?
Music can also be very distracting when you are doing homework. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I like to sing, but I am not sure if I am a good singer. I like to sing at home when I do something that does not require concentration, like doing the laundry or taking a shower. However, whenever I sing in front of family members, they tell me to be quiet. Response number 2.
I went to a concert last month and I saw my favorite singer, Shakira. She was on a tour around the major cities of my country and she visited my city as well. She sings Latin pop music. I liked the concert a lot because we could listen and dance.
Response number 3.
Music can help us learn English because it's one way to practice listening. For example, you can listen to songs in English and try to write down the lyrics. Also, when something is musical, it is much easier to remember the words. Music is a good way to memorize English words and phrases. Unit 7. Name them. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. The most famous artists that I know are Van Gogh, Picasso, and Da Vinci. All three of those artists are from Europe. I think their works of art can be found in museums around the world. Speaker number 2.
Some popular magazines around the world are Time, National Geographic, and Newsweek. I've read some articles from all of those magazines. In fact, several of my English teachers use those magazines in their classes.
Speaker number 3.
A couple of really famous mountains are Mount Everest, Kilimanjaro, and Mount Fuji. Mount Everest is the tallest of those three mountains. I like hiking in the mountains, but I've never visited any of those mountains. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Things. What are the titles of some famous books?
Some famous books that I know are The Alchemist, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and Life of Pi.
Have you read any of these books?
Yes, I read Life of Pi. It is a very interesting book about a boy from India and a tiger.
Would you recommend this book?
It has a very good ending. I would highly recommend this book.
Places. What are some famous cities in the world?
The most famous cities in the world are Los Angeles, New York, London, Paris, and Tokyo.
Tell me something about one of these cities.
I visited London once. It is best known for sites like Big Ben, Windsor Palace, and the Tower of London.
How big is this city?
Maybe about 14 million people live there.
People. Who are some famous athletes?
Some famous athletes these days are Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, and Kelly Holmes.
Tell me something about one of these athletes.
Usain Bolt is famous because he won the Olympics in China. He set a new world record for the 100-meter sprint.
Is there anything unique or unusual about this athlete?
He is kind of unusual because he is so tall, and sprinters are not usually that tall. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. Angelina Jolie, Sandra Bullock, and Julia Roberts are three famous actresses. Angelina Jolie is very famous because she is in a relationship with Brad Pitt. She also adopted a child from Africa, which is another reason that she is famous now. Response number 2.
Dirty Old Town, The Lonesome Boatman, and A Song for Ireland are all popular songs in my country. I really like the song Dirty Old Town because it tells the story of a town in my country, and it is sung in our traditional style. It is still very popular with a lot of people.
Response number 3.
John Grisham, J.K. Rowling, and Dan Brown are three famous writers. Dan Brown is famous for The Da Vinci Code. Both the movie and book were very famous. Many people were annoyed by what the writer said in the book, which was another reason that it was famous. Unit 8. The Environment. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. One way to produce electricity is with the wind. These days, some companies make big windmills. When the wind makes the windmills turn, it produces electricity. I've seen pictures of big fields with lots of these windmills in them. Speaker number 2.
A really bad effect of water pollution is that it kills fish. Of course, we shouldn't kill animals. That's bad. But when lots of fish die, that means there is less food for other animals that eat the fish. So water pollution that kills fish can be bad for other animals as well.
Speaker number 3.
Global warming is a process where the Earth becomes hotter over time. These days, lots of people say that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is causing global warming. Scientists are studying this, while other scientists are searching for ways to cut the amount of carbon dioxide humans produce. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Nature. Why is it bad for the environment when cities grow and take up more land?
It is harmful for the environment because there is less land available for trees and other plants to grow and for animals to live.
What happens when there are fewer plants?
Plants produce oxygen. Fewer plants mean less oxygen is produced.
Why is oxygen important?
Living things need oxygen to survive.
Actions. What are the effects of polluting water? Explain.
Our water comes from rivers and streams. The main danger of polluting this water is that people have to use or drink it.
What happens if the water in rivers or streams is polluted?
If this happens, the amount of available clean, fresh water will not be enough for everyone to drink.
Why is fresh water important?
People and animals cannot drink salt water. Plants need fresh water too.
Materials. What household items can be recycled?
We can recycle paper, cardboard, cloth, plastic, metal, and glass.
What do you collect at home for recycling?
My family and I collect old newspapers, magazines, old clothes, milk cartons, plastic containers, and aluminum cans to be recycled.
Why is recycling important?
Recycling is important because it means that we can reuse a lot of things. This conserves resources. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. Cutting down trees causes major changes in the amount of oxygen that people and animals have available to breathe. Because trees consume carbon dioxide and produce oxygen, if we keep cutting down trees, we will increase carbon dioxide levels but lower oxygen levels. Response number 2.
There are a lot of things we can do at home to save water. First, we can turn the water off when we are not using it, like when we brush our teeth. Second, we can reduce the amount of time we spend in the shower or in the bath.
Response number 3.
Yes, there is a lot of traffic in my city. Traffic is a huge problem because traffic jams sometimes block the streets for hours. Pollution is a major concern. I think people should use their cars less frequently. They could also carpool to reduce the number of cars on the roads. Unit 9. Everyday Activities. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I usually get up around 6 o'clock. It takes me about 45 minutes to get ready for school, so that's why I get up so early. Most mornings I don't have time to eat breakfast. Speaker number 2.
After school, I usually play a few computer games at home before I start my homework. I have to think a lot at school, so I need some time to relax after I get home. My mom only lets me play for about 30 minutes. Then she tells me to start my homework.
Speaker number 3.
My typical weekend is not very interesting. I sleep late on Saturday and Sunday because I have to get up early all week. If I don't go out and meet my friends, I like to stay home and watch TV or DVDs. My family rents DVDs just about every weekend. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Meals. Mealtimes. What time do you usually have breakfast?
I usually have my breakfast at around 7 o'clock in the morning.
Who prepares your breakfast?
My mom usually cooks it for me, but when she has to go to work early, I make breakfast myself.
What do you have for breakfast?
I usually have bread or oatmeal. On weekends, I have pancakes.
Food. What time do you usually have lunch?
I usually have lunch at around noon. Because I have breakfast at 7, I am usually very hungry by then.
Where do you usually eat lunch?
On school days, I eat lunch at the school cafeteria.
What types of food do you usually have for lunch?
I usually have a sandwich, a slice of pizza, or some salad. I sometimes have a cookie after lunch.
Actions. Do you like watching TV in the evening?
Yes, I enjoy watching TV in the evening after dinner.
What channels or programs do you watch?
I like to watch the Discovery Channel because it shows a lot of interesting programs about amazing things and places in the world.
Do you watch TV every day?
No, I usually watch TV only if I have finished all my homework. Sometimes I only have time to watch TV during the weekends. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I usually go home at about 4 p.m. because I have to wait for a school bus to take me home. Right after I get home, I have a snack because I am usually starving by then. Then I take a shower. Later, I watch television and do my homework. Response number 2.
We usually talk about all sorts of things. Usually we discuss the events of our day, what happened, whom we met, and so on. We also try to plan activities to do during the weekend.
Response number 3.
Yes, I read newspapers and magazines all the time. I like to stay informed about the latest events at home and abroad. Also, I am a bit of a bookworm. I like reading biographies. I like books about famous people and historical events. Unit 10. Experiences. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. A time I was really scared was when the electricity went out in my apartment building. At that time, I was in the elevator. I thought I would be stuck there for hours, so I got scared. Luckily, the power came back on after a few minutes. Speaker number 2.
The best place I ever visited was Paris. I had seen pictures of Paris and I read a lot about it. Then I got to go there with my cousin. We had a great time. It was just like I imagined.
Speaker number 3.
People usually get nervous before they have to do something in front of a lot of people. For example, if a person has to sing or dance on stage in front of people, he or she will probably be nervous before that. Or if a person has to give a presentation in class, he or she will be nervous then too. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Descriptions. Describe a time when you felt really proud of yourself.
I felt really proud of myself when I got the letter with my TOEFL IBT score because it was a good score.
Why were you so proud of this achievement?
Well, I studied really hard for the test, and I didn't want to have to repeat it because it is a difficult test.
What do you remember feeling when you got the letter?
I remember feeling both relieved and happy.
Actions. What day of your life do you think you will remember forever?
I will always remember the day when I left my country to study abroad.
Describe the experience.
That day, my whole family and all my friends came to the airport to say goodbye to me and wish me luck.
Was it a happy day for you?
I was happy that I had the opportunity to study abroad, but I was also sad to leave my family and friends.
Places. Describe an experience you have had traveling to an exotic place.
When I was 14 years old, my family took me to Honolulu, Hawaii, because we wanted to visit this exotic place and to have our vacation there.
What did you find interesting about Hawaii?
The colors all around us looked so different, and the culture was very different from my own.
What were the people like?
The people were very warm and friendly. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I felt really happy during my middle school graduation because I got the highest score in my class. It happened in May of last year. After my exams were over, my parents took my sister and me out for a nice meal to celebrate. It felt great because the celebration was for me. Response number 2.
I was really happy on my 11th birthday because one of my dreams came true. I had been asking my parents to get me a puppy for a long time, but they kept saying no because they didn't think I was responsible enough to take care of a pet. When I finally got a puppy for my birthday, I felt great because I knew my parents felt I was responsible enough to take care of it.
Response number 3.
When I was 13 years old and in middle school, I failed a test because I was at a party the night before instead of studying hard. Even while I was taking the test, I knew I would fail because I didn't know any of the answers. Unit 11. Family. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My grandmother lives in the same city as my parents, but she has her own apartment. My grandfather died a long time ago. Sometimes my parents worry about my grandmother because she lives alone, but my grandmother likes having her own apartment. Speaker number 2.
My father has a job and my mother is a housewife. My father works in a company that makes parts for computers. He is a manager there. Even though my mother stays at home, I think she has a full-time job too. She has to take care of the house and do lots of stuff that my father can't do because he is at his office all day.
Speaker number 3.
The typical family in my country has 1 or 2 children. Most families I know have just 1 child, but it is not unusual to see a family with 2 children. Very few people have 3 or more children. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Descriptions. Who is your favorite sister, brother, or cousin?
My favorite brother's name is Ollie. He is my older brother. He is 20 years old.
Why is he your favorite?
I like him because he helps me and teaches me a lot of useful things.
Describe him.
Ollie is very tall and strong. Everyone thinks he is handsome. He is also smart and responsible, so I really look up to him.
Descriptions. What is your idea of a perfect family?
My idea of a perfect family is when parents, children, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and cousins all live close by so that they can help each other, spend time together, and celebrate together.
Do your family members live near each other?
Most of us live in the same city or close by. Some of my relatives live about an hour's drive away.
Is there any family member who lives far away from the rest?
Yes, my uncle and his wife live in Italy. We don't see them much.
Actions. Do you have any siblings or cousins?
Yes, I have 2 siblings and 3 cousins.
How old are they?
My 2 older brothers are 15 and 17 years old, and my cousins are 7, 9, and 13.
Do you get along well with your siblings?
We all get along very well, though sometimes we get annoyed at my youngest cousin because he can get into things that he is not supposed to get into.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I know some facts about my great-grandparents because I was raised by my grandmother, who liked to tell me stories of when she was young. I know that they had a large family and owned a Chinese restaurant in the center of Hong Kong. Response number 2.
The most important thing that my parents have taught me is how to be responsible. For example, when I was little and my parents bought me a puppy, my father taught me how to take care of it. I think I learned a lot about responsibility then.
Response number 3.
We celebrate anniversaries with our family. For example, last month, my grandparents had their 50th wedding anniversary, and we prepared a huge celebration for them. We booked a function room in a good restaurant and had all of our family members come for a nice meal. Unit 12. Feelings. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I feel happy when I spend time with my friends. We usually do fun things together, so that makes me happy. One of our favorite things to do is to go bowling. We laugh a lot and have fun when we go bowling. Speaker number 2.
I get annoyed when people on the bus start talking really loudly on their cell phones. I don't want to hear their conversations, but they don't care. I would really like to say something to those people, but I never do.
Speaker number 3.
I never bite my nails, but my sister does. She bites her nails when she is worried about something. She seems to worry about a lot of things. Whenever I see her doing that, I tell her to stop it. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Things. What things make you feel frustrated?
I get really frustrated when I try hard to accomplish something and it does not come out the way I want it.
Why do you feel that way?
I feel like that because I am impatient.
Describe a situation when you felt like that.
Once I tried to build a birdhouse, but I couldn't get it right, so I got very frustrated and gave up. I ended up playing baseball instead. I was so frustrated that it felt good to hit the ball with my bat.
Actions. What things make you feel angry?
I feel angry when something unfair happens and I can't change it.
Why do you feel that way?
I hate it when people are unfair to each other.
Describe a situation when you felt like that.
We were doing a group project at school, and one of the students was not participating enough. But after we presented the project well, we all received a good grade, including the student who didn't do much work.
Descriptions. What things make you feel embarrassed?
I feel really embarrassed when I do something wrong and someone sees me do it.
Why do you feel that way?
I feel like that because I know that what I am doing is wrong, and I feel ashamed when I am caught.
Describe a situation when you felt like that.
Well, for example, one day I was unprepared for a class quiz, so I decided to look in my notebook during the quiz. My teacher caught me doing it.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. There are many things that bore me because I am very impatient and I can't sit still when I am bored. For example, I was once at a presentation on how to be successful, and the presenter was quite boring. I wanted to leave after about 5 minutes. Response number 2.
When I have to make a difficult but important decision, I usually think carefully about it because I do not want to make a mistake and then regret it later. For example, after I graduate from high school, I need to decide what major to choose for college. This is something I will need to make a careful decision about.
Response number 3.
I feel sad when something unfortunate happens to my family or my friends because I love them so much. For example, I felt really sad when my brother failed his math exam. He studied really hard for the exam, but it was very difficult. Unit 13. Air Travel. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I have never been on a plane before. Many of my friends have flown on planes, so I have heard about the experience. Maybe someday in the near future I will get to fly somewhere. Speaker number 2.
I think the best way to buy plane tickets is online. There are some good websites that offer cheap tickets to people. These days, most people have e-tickets, so you don't even need to get a real ticket at all.
Speaker number 3.
During a flight, people can read magazines or watch movies. They can also listen to music. Some planes have small screens on the back of every seat. On those flights, people can even play video games. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Descriptions. What airline companies are there in your country?
There are 3 major airlines in my country. One of them makes domestic flights. The other 2 provide international flights.
Where do people from your country go by plane?
People from my country fly to many other countries. For example, some people visit European countries like France and Germany.
Do you like traveling by air?
Yes, I love traveling by air. It's fast and convenient.
Actions. How early should you arrive at an airport before a flight?
You should arrive at the airport at least 2 hours before a flight.
Why is this important?
This is important because you need to have enough time to get your luggage checked in and to go through immigration and security with your passport, boarding pass, and carry-on luggage.
Can these procedures take a lot of time?
Yes, getting through security and immigration can take up a lot of time, especially during peak travel seasons.
Descriptions. Is carry-on luggage allowed on planes in your country?
Yes, carry-on luggage is allowed on airplanes in my country, but it can't be very large.
Why can't carry-on luggage be large?
Carry-on luggage can't be too large because it has to fit in the overhead compartment or under the seat in front of you. Most airlines specify how big carry-on luggage can be, and people should follow these rules.
What items do you like to have with you on an airplane?
I like to have my iPod, my laptop computer, and a book or a magazine to keep myself occupied on long flights.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. There are many features that are designed to keep passengers safe on a plane. Flight attendants usually explain to passengers all the safety information before a flight, such as the way to put on oxygen masks and life jackets. Response number 2.
There are many situations that can make a flight potentially annoying. For example, if your neighbor falls asleep and starts snoring, it can be very annoying. Also, when there is a crying baby near you, it can be difficult to relax.
Response number 3.
There are 3 sections on each plane: first class, business class, and economy class. First class is the most expensive. Business class is nearly as good as first class, though it is a little cheaper. Economy class is usually cheapest, but the seats are rather uncomfortable. Unit 14. Food. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My favorite food is chicken soup with rice. I know that sounds kind of plain, but I love it. I like to eat this kind of soup on cold days when it is raining or snowing. It warms me up inside. Speaker number 2.
The strangest food that I have tried is raw beef. I ate this in a restaurant near my house. My father told me that it was a traditional food from some country, but I can't remember which one. I didn't really like it, so I haven't eaten it again since then.
Speaker number 3.
The typical diet in my country includes lots of meat and potatoes in it. A long time ago, people would eat meat and potatoes at almost every meal. These days, there is more variety. But my family still eats meat and potatoes a lot, just not every day. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Food. What type of food do you like to prepare?
I like to prepare a traditional dish that we eat in my native country. It is called kabsa.
Describe this dish.
Kabsa is rice cooked with spiced lamb or chicken.
Why do you like this dish so much?
Well, it's quite easy to prepare. It also tastes wonderful because of all the different spices used in it.
Things. Do you like to use recipes from cookbooks when preparing food?
No, I don't. I never use recipes from cookbooks.
Why?
I have tried to use recipes from cookbooks several times, but they just don't work for me, even though I use all the right ingredients and follow the instructions. Either the food doesn't taste good, or it doesn't look appetizing.
Tell me about your positive and negative experiences with cooking.
Once I tried to make lasagna, but it tasted awful. However, I can make very tasty spaghetti and meatballs.
Descriptions. Which of your parents is the better cook?
My mom is a better cook than my dad.
What is your favorite food that she makes?
She makes really delicious waffles for breakfast. They are fantastic.
Does your father also cook?
No, he doesn't. As a matter of fact, I have never seen my dad in the kitchen cooking anything at all. My mom, however, is always there.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. My favorite dessert is fruit tort because I love fruit. A fruit tort is a very rich cake with various kinds of fruit on top. My mom used to bake it for me when I was younger because I really like it. Now I can make it myself. Response number 2.
No, I do not think it's a good idea for parents to take their children to fast food restaurants because we know that fast food is not good for our health. Also, if parents take their children there as a treat, they will be encouraging them to eat this type of food.
Response number 3.
As a child, I hated to eat vegetables, especially broccoli. My parents would keep saying, "Eat your vegetables, they're good for you." But I just didn't understand how anyone could like vegetables. Now that I am older, I love eating vegetables. Unit 15. Fruits and Vegetables. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. My favorite vegetables are carrots. They are a little bit sweet. I don't like cooked carrots as much as raw carrots. I like to eat crunchy carrot sticks with sandwiches. Speaker number 2.
Yes, I have tried to grow vegetables. I did that as part of a science project for school. The teacher gave all of the students dried beans. We took the beans home and planted them. Then we watched to see if they would grow. Mine grew well until I forgot to water them for a few days. Then they died.
Speaker number 3.
The difference between fruits and vegetables probably has something to do with the part of the plant that we eat. Fruits usually have some kind of seeds in them, so they're related to the way plants reproduce. Vegetables can be leaves or roots or other parts of the plants. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along. Fruits. What fruits do people grow in your country?
Many farmers in my country grow fruits like bananas and pineapples. I guess citrus fruits are popular in my country. In some places in my country, you can see lots of orange, lemon, and lime trees.
Name one of your favorite desserts made with fruit.
My favorite dessert is orange ice cream.
Describe this dessert.
Well, it is usually made with fresh oranges, sugar, and milk. It is both sweet and tangy at the same time.
Vegetables. What vegetables does your family usually put in soup?
My grandma can make really delicious vegetable soup. She uses fresh cabbage, broccoli, onions, carrots, beets, potatoes, and spices.
How does she prepare it?
To prepare it, she puts all these ingredients in a pot and leaves it on the stove to cook overnight.
What does it taste like?
It's the most delicious vegetable soup in the world.
Descriptions. Do you think it makes a difference if fruits and vegetables are grown with chemical fertilizers and pesticides? Explain.
Yes, it does make a difference because I think now we know a lot more about how chemicals can affect our health. There's been a lot of research in this area.
How can chemicals and pesticides affect fruits and vegetables?
Using pesticides keeps insects away from fruits and vegetables, but they can be dangerous to our health because pesticides are poisonous.
Do you consider these things important when buying fruits and vegetables?
Of course. When I buy fruits and vegetables, it is important for me to know where they came from and whether or not chemicals were used to grow them.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. An apple a day keeps the doctor away means that if you eat at least an apple a day, you will never need a doctor because this type of food keeps you healthy. I agree with the saying that eating fruit is good for your body and will improve your health. Response number 2.
I would create a mix between a plum and a tomato because I like the taste of both. And if I put those two tastes together, I think that would create an amazing new fruit. I would name it the plumato.
Response number 3.
There are many reasons why vegetarians may choose not to eat meat. First, there are religious reasons. Second, some people choose not to eat meat because they think that it is wrong to eat living creatures. Also, some people may not be able to eat meat because of health reasons. Unit 16. Giving directions. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. The easiest way to get to my house from school is to take bus number 7. You can catch the bus at the corner of 54th Street and Parker Road. Get off the bus at the Palm Drive stop. My house is on the corner of Palm Drive and Parker Road. Speaker number 2.
The nearest post office is next to the supermarket on Main Street. Just walk down the street from here and turn right at the traffic light. After you pass the supermarket, you will see the post office. You can't miss it.
Speaker number 3.
There is a good bookstore downtown. It's really big. If you take the subway, you can get off at the City Hall station. Then take exit 8 out of the subway station. The bookstore is down the street at the next traffic light after you come out of the subway. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Places. Things. You want your friend to visit one of your relatives with you. Give him directions from your home to your relative's home.
My Aunt Cecile's house is not far from my house, so you can walk there. First, go straight down Main Street.
What do I do next?
Then turn right onto Willow Drive. Walk 2 blocks until you get to the traffic light and turn left.
How will I know which house it is?
Aunt Cecile's house is number 4. The front door is painted green.
Descriptions. You need some fruit and your friend offers to help you. Give him directions from your house to the nearest grocery store.
The nearest grocery store is quite far from here, so you will have to drive there. Go down Main Street and turn right onto Rosewood Road.
What do I do next?
Drive to the traffic lights at the intersection of Grant and Stone Street.
Is the grocery store on Stone Street?
Yes. Turn left onto Stone Street and you will see the grocery store.
Actions. Your aunt is visiting from another city. You suggest she visit your local farmer's market on the weekend. Give her directions from your home to the market.
Our local farmers set up their market on Woodrow Street every weekend. To get there, you should take bus number 2 to Stanford Road.
Where do I get off on Stanford Road?
Get off at the first bus stop in front of the hospital and walk 2 or 3 blocks along Stanford Road.
Where is the market?
You will see the market right next to the gas station on Stanford. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. The drugstore is not far from our house, so you can walk there. First, go up River Road and turn left onto Windy Lane. Walk 2 blocks and turn left onto Hanover Drive. The drugstore will be right in front of you. Response number 2.
To get downtown from my house, you have to take bus number 7. The bus stop is 2 blocks down Oak Street. You will have to change 2 times though. First, you change to bus number 10 by the City Hospital. When you get to Hanover Street, stop at the post office. Bus number 15 will pick you up from that bus stop and take you downtown.
Response number 3.
You'll have to drive to find the nearest dentist. From your home, you should drive to the intersection of Grant and Speedway and make a left onto Speedway. Then pass the city zoo and turn right onto Wild Eagle Drive. Once you're there, you can't miss the dentist building. Unit 17. Health. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. One thing I learned in physical education class was how to play volleyball. I really like playing volleyball, so I'm glad I learned it. I think it's fun to play volleyball at the beach. Speaker number 2.
The only over-the-counter medication that I use is aspirin. Sometimes I take that if I have a headache or sore muscles. I might also take aspirin if I have a fever.
Speaker number 3.
I never go to the gym. It's too expensive. If I want to exercise, I just play basketball with my friends. Sometimes I also go jogging around the park for exercise. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Descriptions. Why is it important to get enough sleep?
Sleep is an important part of our lives because our bodies need sleep to restore ourselves after each day.
What are some negative effects of not getting enough sleep?
When we do not get enough sleep, we get exhausted easily, and even simple tasks can seem difficult.
How much sleep should you get each night?
We should get at least 8 hours of sleep each night.
Actions. Why is it important to get enough vitamins?
Getting enough vitamins is very important for our bodies because they need vitamins to be healthy.
Why do our bodies need vitamins?
Without vitamins, our bodies can't work normally.
Describe one way in which vitamins help the body.
Well, for example, vitamins can help the body repair itself when a part of it gets injured.
Things. Do you or any of your friends have allergies?
Yes, I have a friend who is allergic to pollen.
What is it like being allergic to pollen?
In the spring, she sneezes a lot, and her eyes always water. Her nose gets very red, and she feels tired and miserable.
Describe some other negative effects of having allergies.
Because of my friend's allergy, she can't do activities outside when there is a lot of pollen in the air. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. Healthy eating habits include eating lots of vegetables and fruit, drinking water, and eating frequently in small amounts. Eating vegetables and fruit is important because they help the body grow. I think my eating habits are not as good as I would like them to be. Sometimes I eat unhealthy microwave snacks because they are fast and easy. Response number 2.
My definition of being healthy is being physically and mentally fit. To be physically fit means to be the correct weight, not too skinny or overweight. To be mentally healthy means to have a clear mind and to be happy.
Response number 3.
Yes, it is important to have health education classes in school because children get a chance to learn about the human body, its growth, and its functions. Sometimes parents do not have time or do not know how to explain some things about health and the human body to their children. Health education classes, however, can teach children these things in a safe environment. Unit 18. The Internet. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. People like to use the internet because it helps them do things faster. For example, if you have to find some information, you can find it really fast online. You can also shop faster by comparing prices at different stores. Of course, you can also use email to send messages to people really fast. Speaker number 2.
If you spend too much time online, you can hurt your body. Your fingers and wrists can start having problems due to too much typing. You can also have back problems. Most people sit in a bad position when they use a computer.
Speaker number 3.
Yes, I think schools should allow students to use the internet. In modern times, it is important for kids to learn how to use the internet. They need to know how to find websites and use email. Schools can also teach them how to use the internet wisely. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Internet vocabulary. Why is it convenient to have and use email?
It is very convenient to have and use email because it is another fast and easy way to contact somebody besides using a telephone. All you need is an email program on your computer. Secondly, email is free, so you don't need to pay anything.
What are some of your favorite kinds of websites?
I really enjoy websites where I can talk to people from around the world. I like to leave posts to my friends on one website. It's really fun.
Where people use the internet. What are the advantages of having internet access at home?
There are many advantages to having internet access at home. First, you can go online anytime if you have a computer in your house. You don't have to go to the library or your school.
Have you ever used the internet at the library or school?
Yes, I like to go on the internet and check my email.
Where else have you seen people using the internet?
I was in a coffee shop recently and I saw several people using their laptop computers to access the internet.
Why people use the internet. Describe how people use the internet.
People use the internet for various reasons. Some of them use it for business to communicate with their business partners in other countries, to send emails, business letters, and orders. Some people use it for personal reasons.
Have you ever bought anything online?
No, I have never bought anything online. My dad has bought many things online, and he has also sold lots of things for his home business.
Do you ever use the internet for school?
If I have a research essay to write for school, the first place I go is the internet. All I have to do is type my topic into a search engine, and I have all the information I need. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I don't think that online education is of equal quality to education received in a regular classroom. I consider online education impersonal and uninvolved. I think students get more chances to deepen what they learn through talking with peers when they are in a classroom. Classrooms also provide competition to encourage students to try harder. Response number 2.
No, I don't think that the government should control the internet. The internet is merely the sharing of ideas. The government has no right to control which ideas we can share and which ideas we cannot. The government cannot limit what we say on the telephone, so it should not limit what we can type. We should be allowed to access whatever we want on the internet.
Response number 3.
There are many drawbacks to internet use in education. However, I think the main drawback is people's inability to distinguish reliable, trustworthy information. If teachers do not teach students about proper internet use, students might read something that is untrue. In addition, the internet provides all sorts of distractions that can make it difficult for students to focus on their studies. Unit 19. Jobs and Occupations. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I would never want to be a doctor. Doctors have to work with sick people, and they have to see blood and gross things. Maybe they make a lot of money, but I don't care. I would never want to have a job like that. Speaker number 2.
I have not had a real job in a company or anything. I have done some tutoring. I guess that counts as a job. When I was in high school, I tutored some of my neighbors in math. I usually did that once or twice a week.
Speaker number 3.
One of my relatives works for an oil company. For his job, he has to take a boat out in the ocean and live at the place where they are drilling for oil. He has to stay there for weeks or months at a time. I don't think that would be an easy job, but it seems pretty interesting to me. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
People. Things. What are typical jobs for men in your country?
Men in my country occupy various positions. Common jobs for men are a police officer, businessman, doctor, firefighter, or politician.
Has there ever been a female president in your country?
No. In fact, no women have ever run for president in my country.
Do you think that a woman could be a good president?
I really believe that a woman could do a great job as my country's president.
Actions. What is more important for women in your country? To have a career or to take care of their families?
Traditionally, it is more important for women in my country to take care of their families than to have a career.
Is that what your mother taught you?
My mother taught me that I could do whatever I wanted to do in my life.
Do you think that you will have a career or take care of a family?
Hopefully, I can have both a successful career and a successful family life. But it is hard to say what will happen in the future.
Descriptions. Would you accept a job that required a lot of traveling? Explain.
Yes, I would accept a job that required a lot of traveling, as long as I was not married. After I got married, I would choose to spend more time with my wife and my children. As a single person, I would not have the responsibilities of supporting a family, so I could do more things that I wanted to.
Does your dad do a lot of traveling for his job?
No, he never has to travel for his job. He doesn't really like his job.
Is your dad planning on getting a new job in the future?
He's been talking about getting a new job for a while, and I think that he would feel more satisfied if he did. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I think satisfaction, friendly people, and promotion opportunities are important in a job. It also needs to give you some sort of mental challenge. If that is not there, you will quickly become bored with the job. Response number 2.
There are some advantages to being self-employed. If you are self-employed, you are your own boss. You can decide when you are going to take a vacation. More importantly, all the money that the company makes goes into your pocket.
Response number 3.
There are various strategies you need to keep in mind if you want to be successful at a job interview. First, do your homework. Research as much as you can about the company and the position you are interviewing for. It is also important to wear presentable clothing that is appropriate for the position. Unit 20. Literature and Books. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I rarely read for fun. I don't have much free time to read for pleasure. I have too much reading to do for my classes. If I have free time, I'd rather watch TV or play video games. I don't want to read unless I have to. Speaker number 2.
Yes, I have. One book that I read and that was also made into a movie is Jaws. The book came out first. Then the story was made into a famous movie. I think the director did a good job when he changed that story into a movie.
Speaker number 3.
It is important to read classical literature because people expect you to know about those stories. If you are talking to someone and they find out you don't know some classical work, they might assume you didn't do well in school, or they might think you didn't even finish school. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Things to read. Give examples of everyday activities that require good reading skills.
There are many activities in our everyday life that require good reading skills. For example, we read newspapers to learn the news. We read labels on boxes, cans, and jars to know what we are eating. We need to read street signs so we don't get lost.
Why is reading important?
Reading is important if we want to learn something new.
In a book. Is it important to have pictures, maps, and illustrations in books?
Yes, it is. Pictures, maps, and illustrations give us a visual image of the main characters, events, and settings of books.
Can there ever be too many pictures in a book?
Yes, sometimes there are too many pictures. I still think the best part of reading a book is imagining things in the story.
Can you think of any books that have lots of pictures?
A lot of my school books have pictures, but that's because we need pictures to help us learn more about science and other subjects.
Places to study. Why do some people prefer to study in the library?
Some people prefer to study in the library because they can do research, or they can find more books on the subject that they are studying. Also, the atmosphere in the library is good for helping you focus on what you're studying.
Where do you usually study?
I usually study in my room at home.
Why don't you study in the library?
The library is too quiet. If I study there, I usually fall asleep. Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. My favorite library is my city's main library, which is located close to my house. I typically go there about once a month. I normally check out books, but I can also check out magazines and DVDs as well. Response number 2.
My favorite book is the travel book series Lonely Planet. I love these books because they give me great information. They have beautiful pictures as well as really important tips about getting around. They also have really handy maps that help me to know where I'm going.
Response number 3.
My favorite writer is Dan Brown. He wrote The Da Vinci Code as well as other books. He is able to combine suspense and a great story with historical evidence. When I start reading one of Dan Brown's books, I cannot put it down until I've finished it. He's a great author. Unit 1. A Day at the Beach. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I prefer to go to the beach with my friends because we always have a lot of fun. I play games with my friends that my family doesn't usually play. We play volleyball, listen to music, and just talk. We also have fun in the water. Speaker number 2.
When I go to the beach with my friends, we like to talk a lot, especially about matters that we do not feel comfortable discussing in front of our parents. Of course, we talk about our favorite music and movies, but we also talk about guys and girls and who goes out with whom.
Speaker number 3.
Yes, I like to bring food with me to the beach. I usually make sandwiches or hot dogs at home before I go. I don't like to cook at the beach because I usually just want to relax when I am there. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
People. Where is the nearest beach to you?
The nearest beach to my house is just a 30-minute drive away.
What is the weather usually like there?
The weather there is usually very nice.
How would you describe it?
It can be hot or cool, and there's often a light breeze too.
Activities. Why do people like to listen to music when they relax at the beach?
It is very relaxing to listen to music. Music puts people in a good mood.
Do you like to do that?
I like to listen to music when I am lying on the sand.
What do you usually use to do that?
I usually bring my MP3 player with me. I have a lot of my favorite songs on it, so I just browse through them. Sometimes I make a special music playlist for the day which I listen to.
Food. When you go to the beach, what food do you usually prepare?
I usually make sandwiches, hamburgers, or hot dogs. Sometimes I bring potato chips or a candy bar if I'm not staying at the beach for long.
Why do you like to prepare this kind of food?
These types of food are simple to prepare and are very tasty.
How do you prepare this kind of food?
We usually make the sandwiches at home. We make the hamburgers and hot dogs on the barbecue at the beach. My mom is a chef, so she cooks excellent food.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. Lifeguards are very important because their job is to make sure people are safe. There are usually a lot of small children at the beach, and sometimes their parents relax and don't concentrate on watching their children. Kids can go into the water and drown, so lifeguards should be there to help protect them. Response number 2.
People like to spend time at the beach because it is very relaxing. They like to hear the wind and the waves and people laughing and having a good time. Because it gets very hot and the water is cool, people like to go swimming. Also, people can have fun with their friends.
Response number 3.
Yes, I do. I like to play beach volleyball with my friends when we are at the beach. I am a good player. Because I live so close to the beach, I practice often, so I am better than most of my friends. Unit 2. Giving advice. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. You should stop smoking now because it will be more difficult to quit in the future. Smoking is an expensive habit. Smoking is also very bad for your health and can shorten your lifespan. There are patches that you can use to help you quit. Speaker number 2.
If you want to be stronger, try building your muscles a little each day. Start with things that are a little heavy, but you can still lift them. Practice lifting and carrying these things each day. Slowly, try lifting heavier things as time goes by. This way, you'll get stronger over time.
Speaker number 3.
You have to work hard to improve your writing skills. Reading books about how to organize your information may be a good idea. You can also study grammar. But really, the best way to improve your writing is to write a lot. Write something every day. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Applying to university. What can I do to get accepted into the best university?
First, you need to study hard and do well in your exams. You should also write a good essay for your university application.
Why are high scores important?
Getting high scores helps you gain admission into the university.
What else will help me get a place at the university?
Make sure you actively participate in your school extracurricular programs. That will also help you get a place in the university.
Saving money. How can I improve my financial situation?
Well, first you need to save as much money as you can. Look at your expenses and see which ones are not really necessary.
What can I do to avoid wasting my money?
Make a budget. Avoid spending money unnecessarily. Buy important things that you need. Don't spend too much on things like fast food, leisure, and entertainment.
What should I do with the money that I save?
Put it in a savings account at the bank. Then you always have some money in case of an emergency.
Public speaking. How can I be more confident when I speak English in public?
To build your confidence when you speak in public, you need to make sure you are well prepared for your presentation.
How do I prepare for my presentation?
You need to practice your presentation at home so that you know it well. Make sure you speak clearly. Time yourself so that you know how long your presentation is going to be.
What can I do to make sure I remember what I need to say?
You can prepare small note cards to use during your presentation. That will help you remember what you want to say.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I think you should go online and research your options first. That way you can compare the features, specifications, and prices of various models. Response number 2.
If you want to be popular, try to be nice and helpful to everybody who needs help. You have to show people that you care about them. When people see how nice you are, they will start talking about you and your help.
Response number 3.
It is not good when you fight. You are my best friends, and you need to learn how to work out your misunderstanding peacefully. I know you are hurt right now, but I think you should give her a chance to express her feelings and try to understand her. Unit 3. Ailments and Treatments. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. When I have a stomach ache, I try to lie down and stop moving for a little while. Also, I usually eat a lemon. My grandmother told me it helps to stop a stomach ache. Speaker number 2.
When I have a toothache, I boil some peppermint tea with a pinch of salt in a cup of water, and then I slowly drink all of it. This also helps with other aches and pains too.
Speaker number 3.
When I have a fever, I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to lie in bed and rest. I usually don't feel like eating, but my mom always tries to give me soup or something. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Ailments. Besides taking medication, what method of reducing a high fever do you know?
A good way to reduce a high fever is to cool your body.
Describe it.
When I was little and had a high fever, my mother used to make me take a cold shower. I would cry because the water was so cold, but it would make me feel better.
Did your mother do anything else?
Sometimes my mother would rub me with warm alcohol and put me in bed under a lot of heavy blankets.
Food, drink. What do you do when you get a cold?
When I get a cold, I do not go to a doctor. I just rest.
How did your parents treat a cold?
My mom used to make me stay in bed and drink lots of hot tea with lemon, honey, and ginseng.
Did you like this treatment? Why or why not?
I liked my mom's treatment for colds because it helped me relax.
Methods. Besides going to the doctor or taking pills, what do you do if you get a headache?
When I have a headache, I try to relax and sit or lie down comfortably.
Do you do anything else?
Yes, I massage the back of my neck where my head connects to my back. Sometimes I rub the area under my eyebrows close to my nose.
Do you know of any other way to treat a headache?
Well, some people find that acupuncture helps them. I have never tried it myself, so I'm not sure if it would help me.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. I know some home remedies for treating a sore throat that I learned from my grandmother. When I have a sore throat, I usually drink hot tea with honey and lemon. I also drink hot milk with a teaspoon of butter or baking soda in it. Also, rinsing your throat with salt water helps a lot. Response number 2.
When I have a toothache, I put some salt in a glass of warm water and then hold the salt water in my mouth for some time. If it doesn't help, I take a bit of garlic and put it behind my lip, next to the tooth that hurts.
Response number 3.
Yes, I do believe it is effective. I tried it when I was younger because I often had earaches. My mother didn't know how to treat them, so she took me to the acupuncturist. He put thin needles in the area around my ears, and I stopped getting earaches after that. Unit 4. Animals and Pets. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. I like cats better than dogs. Cats are quiet and they are easy to take care of. Dogs are noisy and you have to take them for walks all the time. Speaker number 2.
I am afraid of snakes. I don't know why they scare me so much, but they do. They move really fast on the ground and they have smooth skin. Just thinking about them makes me nervous.
Speaker number 3.
Yes, I think animals can react to their owner's feelings and moods because I have first-hand experience of that. I have a dog. When I am sad, he comes to me, puts his head in my lap, and looks in my eyes. I think that he tries to support me this way. When I am happy, my dog is usually happy too. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Animals. If you had a choice, what pet would you have?
If I had a choice, I would have a horse. I like horses very much. I especially like white horses.
Why do you like horses so much?
Horses are so big and beautiful. They are also very intelligent. They can also run very fast.
What would you do if you had a horse?
If I had a horse, I would learn how to ride it. Since I live in the country and not in the city, I would love to go riding on the weekends.
Descriptions. Do you or your friend have a pet? Describe it.
I have a dog. He is a 5-year-old poodle. He is small and white. His name is Sam. He is a very funny dog.
Do you like to play with your dog?
Yes, of course I like to play with my dog. When I throw a ball or a stick, Sam always runs after it to fetch it. He loves to play and go for walks.
Where does your dog sleep at night?
Sam usually sleeps in a kennel in the backyard at night. But if it is very cold, my mother sometimes lets him sleep in the house.
Places. What is the most popular pet in your country?
The most popular pet in my country is the canary.
Why is it the most popular?
Most of the people in my country live in big cities and have very small apartments, so they can't have big pets like dogs or cats. Birds are the most popular pets because they don't need a lot of space.
Why do they not need much space?
You can put a cage anywhere, even if your apartment is really small.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. Children can learn a lot of things from taking care of their pets. Most importantly, they can learn responsibility. You have to take care of them, love them, feed them, wash them, and clean up after them. Also, when they get sick, you have to take them to the vet. Response number 2.
I think it is fair to keep animals in zoos, though it depends on the type of zoo. I know that some zoos provide a lot of land and create a natural environment for their animals, so the animals are not in cages. They are free to walk around in their own private area. Also, zoos can give some rare or endangered species a chance to survive.
Response number 3.
I think some people give human names to their pets to include them as part of the family. Pets also learn to respond to names and recognize when they are being spoken to. Having a name for a pet is also more familiar than not having a name at all, or simply referring to a pet as the dog or the cat. Unit 5. Appearances. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. The person who is sitting next to me is my friend Mary. She is quite tall and pretty. Her hair is dark and long, and she has big brown eyes. Speaker number 2.
My teacher is a little short. He looks very young, but I think he must be over 30. He has short blonde hair.
Speaker number 3.
A famous athlete in my country is Tiger Woods. He is thin and handsome. He has dark skin and short dark hair. I think his smile is very cute. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
Face. What does your mother look like?
My mom is tall and slender.
Describe her face.
She is not very old, but she has a lot of wrinkles on her cheeks and forehead.
How old is she?
She is in her 40s. She says that she looks older because she worries about me so much.
Hair. Who is the most beautiful girl in your class?
I think Kim is the most beautiful girl in my class.
What do you like about the way Kim looks?
She is quite short and very slim. Kim has beautiful, long, straight black hair, which she usually wears in braids.
What else do you like about the way Kim looks?
She has a very nice smile, which people like.
Body. Who is the most famous athlete in your country?
The most famous athlete in my country is Nicola Martinez.
What sport does he play?
He plays basketball.
What does he look like?
He is very tall and strong. He also cuts his hair very short.
Part 6. Listen to each response and match it to the question it answers.
Response number 1. A famous actress in the U.S. is Angelina Jolie. She is a very beautiful woman. She has dark, long, wavy hair. She wears her hair up or down. She has a very pretty face with big green eyes. Response number 2.
I would like to describe my father to you. He is a short, heavy guy. His hair is black with some gray on the sides. His forehead is very high. I think that makes him look smarter.
Response number 3.
My Aunt Cecile is a high school teacher. She is tall and thin. She has a short, neat haircut. She does not wear any accessories in her hair. She wears small, gold-rimmed glasses, which usually sit high on her nose. Unit 6. At the Doctor's. Part 1. Listen to the speakers. Write the questions that they answer.
Speaker number 1. The last time I went to the doctor was about 6 months ago. I had a bad sore throat at that time. The doctor gave me some pills and my sore throat went away after about a week. Speaker number 2.
It is important to get regular checkups with a doctor because a doctor can find problems when they are small. If you wait until you feel sick, the problem might be really big. Then the treatment will have to be more serious. If the problem is small, the treatment can be easier.
Speaker number 3.
No, I would never consider becoming a doctor or a nurse. I don't like blood or gross things like that. I've never liked visiting hospitals, so I certainly don't want to work in one every day. Part 3. Listen to each dialogue and read along.
People. How do you make an appointment to see a doctor?
To make an appointment, I have to call the doctor's office and ask the receptionist if my doctor is available to see me on a certain date.
How will the receptionist know if the doctor is available?
The receptionist will check the doctor's schedule. If the doctor is free, the receptionist will schedule the appointment. I write down the appointment time so that I won't forget it.
Actions. After the doctor diagnoses an illness, what does he or she need to do next?
After diagnosing the problem, the doctor needs to explain